Morning, Michelle. Okay. What a first song this morning. Morning, Dr. Dank. What song is this? Dance Gavin Dance for sure. Animal Surgery. We're going to have a special guest on stream this morning, I do believe. I believe Johannes Schickling will be on, who created LiveStore and helped co-found and create Prisma. I gotta figure out how we're gonna make this work because I have not had somebody on my stream for quite some time. But that is the plan at some point today when he's available. Johannes is the GOAT. Alright, let's get caught up on some things here. I had Claude run last night on the nonprofit stuff. I think we should be I just want to check in on this. Fun dev. If we go to localhost. You had a guess last time when you were playing with Nyx. Was it Meta or BG? Not 3000. 1. This should redirect me to admin. We should see this. Yeah. That looks good. That looks good. And then this should be... Alright. That's good. We should have a post that has no post. Okay, that's not great. All right, that looks decent. So if we go to localhost 4321 then. This definitely lost the content, but we can go and update this. There's 2 donate now buttons. We're gonna have to fix that. All right, that's all right. We don't need to mess with that. So yesterday we left off. What up, John? We left off making the schemas for this. Schemas. Yeah, here we go. Recipe schemas. Oh, we're working on the types, that's right. Yeah. Should we try to make a PR to LiveStore first and add the ability for default to be a function? Let him cook. All right, we'll do that first. Let's go clone the repo. Like, oh shit, here we come again. Why does Twitch... What's it streaming in, Bishaw? Is it lower than 1080p? $720p? That's crazy, dude. Is there anything I can do on my side to make it better? Alright. I feel like my keyboard gets screwed up every day, chat. Alright, we're gonna make this. This will be LiveStore. And we're gonna go up. What up, Boppy? Git clone, pull that down. I already cloned it at some point. We're gonna remove LiveStore. And we're gonna reclone it. Oh shit, here we go again. I can start trying to dual stream to Twitter too, if that would make a difference. Duran, Bilal. Using Nix. Okay, that's fine. What package manager does it matter? PNPM? PNI? Sure. I don't think India is under any sanctions from the US that I know of. All right, so let's go find this code. So we're searching for the SQL package, probably. LiveStore, SQLite WASM, utils. Actually, we can find it by jumping to definition here. This is going to be in common source schema state. Common source schema state mod. Okay, we want to go to here. And then down here, do we have a default in here? Yep. Nope. So we've probably, this AST is probably a schema AST. Column def, it's probably in here. Yep, here we go. Yep. Derive event and materialize. Create document table def trait. All right, let's go back to here quick. And what happens if we do text? It's in field def. call def function is what we want. Yoink. And let's go back over here. And we want to go to field def. DSL field defs. Where is that at? DB schema. DSL field defs. Here we go. So we want to come in here and we want to say T encoded. Okay. So this can technically be, let's just write this as another type quick. So type column default can take a T encoded and it'll be a function. It'll be T encoded. It'll be an option. Actually, yeah, we can do an option.option of, what's wrong with that? Snippet parsing failed? Okay. T encoded. Start there. Yoink that, and then we can replace this for now. Paste that, that needs T encoded. And then we can come up here and we can say, or this can be a function that returns T encoded. Function type notation must be parenthesized, sure. All right, so now this can be a function. Column definition input, no default. What is no default typed as? A symbol. Okay. That's okay. Column def function. Okay. T encoded default. Default encoded for column type. T column type extends field column type. Text integer. Okay, that's good. With the Mac Mini versus MacBook, sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah, I think it depends if like you're gonna be mostly sitting at a desk or if you're gonna be, if you want the portability of the MacBook. Like if you're almost always gonna be at a desk, maybe a Mac Mini.
Speaks the gospel of the camel. I speak the gospel of the dunes.
Thank you, Mr. Love Wizard. Appreciate you, buddy.
Come ride a camel with me today.
Oh, man. Default encoded for column type. We might need like a type here that is like we could possibly do column type, maybe lazy column. Well, let's see how this is used first. So default schema for column type. This actually might be okay. Case handled. Where does it get called? Make call def default. So this can be column definition input. T column type extends column type. T column type call def function. T column type. Okay. I think this might be okay. So this gets returned. Because technically what does this return? This returns a call def function. So that's the type I think we want to update, is this call def function. This hold on, how do I read this? It returns, it's a function that takes it's a function that returns that structure. I actually don't know what this syntax is right here. I'm a little confused by what that is. Is this an overloaded function? Ah, it is an overloaded function. So right here's the first overload. So it can be a function with no arguments, or it can be this function that has these generic parameters that are applied to args, which t default comes from here. T decoded, which is default encoded for column type. So we need like, I don't know, column definition. Where is this used? Any. Where is this used at? Is column definition. Yeah, I guess that's technically correct. I did see the new Pennsylvania license plate. I didn't love it. Let's go look at it. I think I didn't love it. I was just there. New PA license plate. Thanks for the follow, Veek. Yeah, dude, it's like so plain. I like the Let Freedom ring, but like the rest of it's pretty mid. Like this is the Pennsylvania license plate. This screams turnpike to me, and paying $70 to drive from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh. All right, column definition input, unknown or no default, which is a symbol. It looks like a Corona. Not putting a, yeah, dude, how do you not put the keystone on it? That's some rookie shit. All right. So value, type of value is object. Value does not equal null, and column type is in value. Valid column types includes column type. Okay. I refuse to ask AI here. Call def function. We want, I think this is where we want to update. I think we do want like this maybe, maybe thunk or maybe lazy. It takes a T and we'll say it'll be T or T, and this needs the wrapper around it. And then we have this thing that can take a type and make it the type or a thunk that returns the type. So I think we can just wrap this, maybe lazy, out to here. That worked really well. That would actually go here. If I could type, maybe lazy. Okay. Okay, we're cooking. We're cooking. And then there's a T default. It returns T default, extends. This could be maybe lazy here. I gotta fix whatever's going on with Lewis snip. That's really annoying. Snippets. I don't use any of these ever, so I'm gonna delete basically all of these snippets. And then let's go to plugins, Lewis snip, and config, set config, update, text change I. All right, let's see if that helps. Spent a few minutes looking for a peer in the wrong repo. Classic. Client document def. No, we wanted DB schema, DSL, field defs. I think we could probably take this, yoink that back, and go, whoops. Why is that not working? V, shift to the left. What? There we go, that's what I wanted. That should be that. And then we can grab maybe lazy, and we can take that to the top for now, and we can use maybe lazy here. This can be maybe lazy. All right, so we've got that. And this is returning a never. This is returning a maybe lazy. Make column def. We return that. That looks good. Default can be an option of none. Def default equals actually maybe lazy here should probably be here instead. That's probably what we want. or equals none of def default. Call def function text. So if we do const this equals text, and this takes a default, right? We should be able to do like foo. Okay, so that looks like it works actually. Does it get upset now if I try to do like a number? Yeah. Okay. We're cooking. We're cooking, chat. We're getting somewhere. I like it. Oops. All right. That seems correct. Specialized column def. No infer is needed for some generics to work properly in certain cases. Okay. This should probably be maybe lazy. Lewis snip is still acting up, which is really annoying. So we say t default, we have it typed there. Then down here, we're gonna have to update it right here. But it already extends maybe lazy. So we should be good there. T column type. Oh, this is gonna break probably because T column type might be just maybe lazy percolate through this. We might have to pull it out. So this is also a, hold on, type generics function returns this. Here's the second override. T column type extends field column type. That's the primitives. Yep. Yeah, specialized function, which I think we already typed up there. That returns this thing, which we already typed as maybe lazy. And I think we got the return here. Because T default is already wrapped with maybe lazy because it extends it. All right, we might be good there. I don't think we have to do anything here. As long as that passes through, fine. Sorry, I'm talking to Johannes. What is this? Oh, nice. Johannes had a AI bot implement a reference of how it should be implemented. I want to take a shot at doing this myself the whole way through first, and then we'll look at his reference implementation. I don't know if he'll join today, but one of these next couple days on stream, we're going to have Johannes on. But let's keep going here just for the love of the game without using AI. Yeah, I was using 2slash as well. Let's see here. All right, so we have this Yason datetime. So theoretically, like these, I should be able to do const underscore equals that. We'll give this a 2slash. Whoops. Why can't I do that? 2slash is on, and we'll say datetime. And this should take a default, and this should be able to do new date. Although I'm not sure if that's right, because if we do text, yeah, we need that. We want that to be, we want that to show up as maybe lazy. See how this text one has that maybe lazy in the definition? We want to get this one to where this option.sum is wrapped with maybe lazy. I don't think Johannes has many dependencies here, John. And bringing in date functions. Schickling, hey, look at this guy. Look at this goat. We're just going through and trying to do implementation and then compare it to yours for the love of the game without using AI. So we have maybe lazy here. So there's probably a T decoded somewhere. Do we think it? Dude, your code's fine. This code's good. Somebody in chat was just saying that I was like flying through this code following it. Where was that comment? You're flying through the code base like you wrote it. That's cool, not gonna lie. I feel like I've had a decent time following this so far. All right, so we got that to maybe lazy now too. All right, we got that type percolating through. And just to make sure we get a type error here, we can delete find that, and this should give us a type error. And this should be wanting to be a date. Yep, great. Okay, so let's turn off 2slash. We can delete our 2slash queries. We got that. Default encoded. There's going to be an issue, I believe, somewhere. If I had to guess, when we go to decode, I can lead you to darker places. type T is decoded, switch column type. That's a literal value. Okay. Let's go to the test quick. So let's write a test here where we say like expect f.text, and we'll say default, and we'll do this foobar. So that, oh, that's a snapshot test. We can still write a normal test here. To equal to, it's not to equal, to match object, set a subset. I don't know if that will check functions. Johannes is the GOAT, Dan. He's one of the smartest developers and kindest humans I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. We're just gonna make Claude run this test. Copy file path, run the tests in here. I don't think it's as bad as you think it will be, Dan. The funky syntax is really just tags. Tags and like module.type, so like effect.effect and option.option. If you can get past those two things, like the syntax is actually pretty normal. I guess you have generators too, but like I'm at the point where like Remix 3 is using generators, AI SDK is using generators, all the AI streaming stuff is using generators, so I feel like just like mapping yield start to a weight in your head and when you're reading isn't a huge lift anymore. So it's really just like the class syntax of doing tags and services, I think, is the weirdest part of effect. But you have to do that because of the type system. Derenv. Oh, I don't have devenv installed. That's okay. Claude will figure it out. What did that fail on? Let's see here. Right. This should be option. Can I just import this from effect? Yeah. Dot sum. Let's see if that works. Rerun. Yeah, I'll take a look then. Let me go peep this. Embrace effect schema for stable definitions, or for table definitions. Whoa. Dude, Johannes, dude, this ticket will be so good once Effect 4.0 comes out. I am so excited for schema with Effect 4.0. Julio just like absolutely cooked. It's gonna be so good. Dan asked, here, hold on, let me catch up here. John said, I think considering that people vibe code without thinking, we can finally bring out syntax that won't scare unexperienced people. I did have a question around using effect in a front-end code base. Is there a decent story around how it integrates with a React app, or is it better for back-end projects? Well, I will have you know, Dan, that we built vercel.com/domains using React, Next, and Effect. So this is effect Atom and effect RPC with Next and React. Yeah, can't wait for effect 4. What up, Benzer? Effect Atom. The performance of that search is mind-blowing. I realized it later, and you might appreciate this, Johannes, but the backend that I wrote with Tim and Maxwell for domain search is basically like we basically built like a poor man's durable object in Kubernetes and AWS. Really need to dig effect 4 object field dig thing where you don't need to spread nested objects. Oh, the lenses, John? It's really impressive. I saw the launch of it a few weeks ago on Twitter. Yeah, it was. This was a lot of fun to build. So we failed now. Now expects option wrapper default some value function, but receives partial structure. Default. Well, what did it say before? What is the command to test this file? Dr. Love Wizard, you would probably appreciate what Schickling's talking about. If you want to see some of the crazier parts of LiveStore, check out the web mesh code. It's basically a mini Ethernet implementation for web primitives. Something like HashiCorp console. Yeah, let's grab this command, break out of this. All right, here we go. This says we expect a function. Is that what we received an option? Isn't that? Oh, we imported the wrong option. Is this a full export of effect, Johannes? I'm assuming so. All right, so it's not wrapping as I would expect it to. Oh, is it that? Hold on, let me test a assumption here. Let's do this without the thunk. And we get rid of that, and we'll get rid of the thunk over here. We'll do that, see if that passes. It's been a pattern that I've been using with effect for over 4 years in order to adjust the API to my liking, which step by step went upstream, but I still use it occasionally to extend a module up until those changes are trickling upstream. What up, Priv? All right, so that makes sense. I'm curious if it's how this matches on functions. So let's test another. I wonder if match object probably doesn't do equality. It probably does referential equality, right? So like, let's test that. Let's say const fun is this. This will return foobar, and then down here, let's get rid of that and let's change this default. Whoops. We'll change this to fun and changing that to fun, and let's see what that does. See if it's referential. It is. Okay. All right, so we are getting that. So that's doing what we would expect. Been doing Weird Arc lately, doing some of the most fun dev work of my career while somehow using computers less than ever. That actually sounds kind of nice. I want to check date time yet. So we come here and we make this lazy. We can change this to change. We'll make this fun. And then we'll say this will be object, and we'll say default. This is a option.sum of fun. We'll go to fun. This will return a new date. We need that to be a stable reference. So let's say now equals new date. We'll change this to now. And let's jump down here. I can delete this. Yeah, so we should expect this to still pass as well. Boom. Okay, everything is working as we expect so far. You can delete option. Great. And now let's go back to our code here and let's find the references for like text and see right here. Let's go to references. What file are we in right now? We're in field defs. Okay. So we want everything that's not field def. Table def. Control Q. Shouldn't Control Q take me? I thought Control Q should take me. There we go. Think I have finally stopped having Lua in production nightmares. Oh, bro, I almost got sucked into that world. I almost got sucked into that world real hard. Just shipped a little improvement for LiveStore docs. Let me, I hate that I can't, we should make a pull request to Twit for making links clickable. God, too many side quests. I can close that. TL draw diagrams to LiveStore docs. How do you feel about TL draw versus Excalidraw? I haven't really used TL draw, but Matt Pocock got on me one time for using Excalidraw instead of TL draw. Oh, that's kind of nice. What, can it render as a component? I just have to import a TLD file. So it's the Astro component's rendering a TLDR file as SVG. That's pretty dope. Also a tiny investor. I'm Team Tail Drill. That would make sense. I don't want to live in a world where there's Excalidraw haters. Same. I love Excalidraw. I do know that the CEO of TLDraw has bought all of his domains, I think, on for sale domains. So like I stand that. I pay for Excalidraw Pro or Plus or whatever they call it. I use it a lot. Table def. So if I came in here, I was like, let's say const foo equals this, and we do basically something similar here. Take this and I add a default, and we say foobar. What do we get here? Maybe lazy string. All right. Then let's take this and say ts, and we'll do this will be columns is foo, maybe lazy. All right, that type looks like it's percolating through correctly. All right, I think this is looking pretty decent. I want to go look at Schickling's, at Johannes's implementation, and see how close I got here. And then I faxed it to my homies. Hell yeah. Got him. Didn't look too terrible? Cool. Well, this was just a kind of first lazy shot at me. Going for it. Let's open that in home. Let's come over here and why can't I bring up? There we go. So let's do that. We'll bump twit over. And we'll go to here and we'll bump the font size up a little bit. Let's bump this. Can I not collapse that column? Come on, OpenAI. All right, we'll move Twitch chat over. Something like this. And we'll bump over the code. All right. So we've got column def test. Let's see. We were in field def, weren't we? Field defs. Yeah, that's where we started. So in field defs, we have SQL default value. Is SQL default value is SQL default return. If value is a type of an object and the object's not null, and SQL. Okay, we have that. Column default thunk. This is similar to our maybe lazy. Column default thunk. Oh, there's a second version. All right, let's I wish I would have just put me on the most recent version. All right, so we want to start at field defs. Oh, it used a tagged. Interesting. I don't hate that. Column default takes a T value. Value can be a thunk. I don't hate that. Oh, I haven't used Codex very much. All right, we'll look at version 1, then we'll look at version 2. So this is somewhat similar to what we did. Column default value, T decoded, resolve column default, is default thunk. Yeah, it invokes the value right there. I didn't see where they actually. Oh, that must be used somewhere else if it's exported. I don't think it may be null. That's funny that they made a maybe null. T nullable extends boolean. That feels like a weird type. I like this song. When I worked at State Farm, me and a cubicle mate would go down to the food court and buy a White Monster in day. We called them fridge cigarettes. Good old corporate South. I also worked at State Farm with, not directly with Dr. Live Wizard, but I did work at State Farm. So it takes a T and a Boolean. What is the Boolean doing? Oh, the Boolean, it's saying, I see what Nullable's saying. It's saying that if you gave it a thunk, because SQL columns can also be nullable, that's what it's saying. It's not like the type is not like type T or null. It's saying, can this column be nullable? Okay, that makes more sense. Column default thunk takes a maybe null. Yeah, that makes sense. So default arg, that looks good. That's actually pretty smart. Column default. No infer. This is actually pretty close. Like, as a general direction, this is basically where we ended up. So that feels good that I didn't completely botch. Where is this? We missed this. This was what I was looking for at some place that I didn't know where to find it. If SQL DSL dot is default thunk default. Where does Okay, that's just like the value I'm assuming that SQLite expects as the default for all of the column types. That makes sense. And then resolve column default. That's gonna check if it's a thunk, I'm guessing. Is default thunk. Yeah, and then it invokes it. Yep. This looks pretty good. Did this open a PR, Johannes? Okay, yeah, I can apply it. This is basically what I wanted to do and how I would have implemented it. I didn't know where the column spec was. That would have been the next thing I was going to look for. Let me see what it added to schema helpers. Get default values encoded. Read only record map. We take the fallback values, column names. Should never happen. I love that we have like asserts in here. Resolve default. I probably would have never found this. Copy patch. We'll have Mr. Claude open a PR. Does anyone that know if there's a command in Ghosty to close splits? Like I cannot figure out how to close splits and it's driving me crazy. Like I looked in the command palette and there's just like no close split. Go to the split and exit. How do I exit? Literally had closed surface. So if I open the palette and I say command palette close surface. Oh, do I need to I want to fucking click that link. Drives me crazy. Doesn't work when you so we can write a keybind. Okay. Great. We'll write that then. So let's go down here and we're gonna do a git nuke and we'll do a git pull and we'll do a git checkout -b dm mulroyce and this will be issue we'll just say number. What is my 779 default column values thunks. And then I don't know what the command is. How do I apply a patch file to my Git branch? All right. We'll say, do I still have the patch file? Let's say pb paste into 799.patch, and we'll do head 799 patch. Oh, I copied the, right. We want copy patch, and then we can do the same thing. There we go, and then we can do git apply 799 patch, and then we can remove 799 git status, git add, git commit, apply patch for default column funcs from codex. C, let's go grab the link. Grab that, come in here, do that. Oh, did that work? Mono. No verify. Git push. I guess I got to fork, don't I? I'll have to fork and change the upstream. Let's go to here. We're gonna fork, create fork. And then we'll set remote origin main to, we want and then we can git push origin main. That should create our branch. We can do a pull request. We'll have AI write the do that, and then we'll have Claude come update this. 3. Using GitHub CLI, update the title and desk using the template that is in the body already, in the desk already. Hey, I've come here to ask what you feel about Svelte plus TypeScript as a tech stack since I've seen you work with both. Also, any tips? I'm going to be using them in a university project. I really like Svelte. I really like Svelte and SvelteKit. I think what Rich, Simon, and Elliot are doing with SvelteKit and remote functions, it like just feels good and simple and easy. Not only simple, but also easy to write Svelte in SvelteKit. And their like component model feels enough like React in Svelte 5 that like I can get past the template syntax. I really, really like Svelte and SvelteKit. I'm not gonna lie. Big fan. I like runes. I think runes are great. I did not like Svelte before Svelte 5. I would not have used Svelte before Svelte 5. To be honest. Are we listening to Enya right now? Is that what this is? Yep, knew it. I knew it. Do I not have the GitHub CLI installed? Alright, hold on here. Hodl, hodl, hodl. Is that not in my dot files? Packages, bundle. I guess not. Brew install GitHub. Nah, I backed out of using Nix and I vibe coded my own tool here. That's actually really good. I should have just used my tool, but like this does everything I wanted to. And I was tired of Nix just randomly breaking and then fighting it. And so I vibe coded this tool called dot. Like dot check packages. Like I've got like completions, dot stow. I'm basically using stow for everything. I don't think that's true. I was on Nix for 2 years, Johannes. I used Nix for over 2 years, almost 2.5 years. Jesus, Team went full back cop. It's so good. Dot does everything I want. I can like even benchmark my shell. Look at that. Just benchmarked. What else can I do in here? I have so many things in here. I have a dot summary. Like, what was the last thing I did on my dot files? I should use Haiku for this. I added a utility for generating SSH keys. Dude, it's so good. It's everything I need. I can do a little update action. I have to add, yeah, sure. Add GH. But then I can do like a dot update. I think I'm gonna start using JJ at my new job because I don't think the new job uses graphite. So I will lose my mind if I don't use something like JJ or I forget what I was using before. Graphite. Why can't I think of it? No, I'm not going to Google. No. Open source mercurial. Mercurial? What is the open source alternative? Actually, I think it's Fabricator to Fabricator from Facebook. None of these. Maybe it was OSS for mercurial. I can't spell this. Mercurial. None of these. It does stacked PRs and bookmarks. Sapling. Sapling is what I was using. That's what it was. Sapling, SCM. I used Sapling for like 2 years. And Sapling is similar to JJ. Bro rewrote SSH keygen. I think I would use devm for a project that was in TypeScript. Not Amazon either. I cannot confirm or deny what John said. Cannot confirm or deny for how many days until I'm allowed to say. Next Friday, I can confirm or deny that. I'm going to McLaren. It's true. That's the orange team I'm going to. All right, so that should be good. Login. Sorry, who am I? I guess I don't have to do that because it's just using my keys. So over to Claude. I just installed GH. Continue. F1 TypeScript, let's go. I think McLaren is hiring a bunch of software engineers, but you have to be in the UK. Let's look. Let's see what they got posted. That's not my web browser. Let's go McLaren F1 jobs. Start our journey. Probably technical, if I had to guess. Senior software engineer. We're going to Woking, England, baby. Hybrid. Bespoke. CFD. Yo, this is working on wind tunnel internal tooling. C#? I would convert McLaren into an F# shop so quickly. They won't even know what hit them. They think their F1 car's fast? Watch how fast I get them writing F#. I could do this job. I designed Vercel's use the workflow backend database to scale to the fucking moon. It could support the database for workflows can support like it could support 100,000 plus V0 size tenants running 100,000 concurrent workflows with each workflow running 100,000 concurrent steps and still have under 2 millisecond latency on reads and writes. Tell me that's not insane for a database. I'm so traumatized by C#. Red Bull also C#. How would you know if you fit in this? Like, what do you look for? Yeah, I was just looking at the stack and the job responsibilities, Crispy. Did you get much pushback when you tried to bring in effective Vercel? I found in previous orgs, a lot of tools I tried to introduce, people thought it was because it was new and shiny. I took it through RFC for building new domains tooling with it, and I got the green light to do it. I think people are still skeptical, but then I think the rest of the org saw what my team was capable of doing and the quality we brought to our software and how fast we could ship internal tools. And we had type gen. We're the only team with distributed tracing across all of our services. We're the only team that has perfectly typed errors for our API docs. We're the only team that has a code gen type safe client for using in the front end. So like we got all these nice benefits. Also, like we're one of the only teams that has a really good dev environment. So I think everyone kind of saw us getting all these benefits, and I hope other teams move to adopt it. But yeah, you got to start with like, build a small CLI tool that makes life easier, or refactor an endpoint with it, and just show the value. Don't try to do like some sweeping refactor or something with it. Come on, Claude, what are you doing, bud? Yo, I've got the sun coming in at just the perfect angle right now. Yeah, I mean, before I ever took effective Vercel, like I built a ton of stuff on stream, and I did a freelance production application in effect. So like I put it through the ringer and the ropes before I brought it into work. Like I wanted to feel pretty confident that it would be as beneficial as I was hoping it would be. Contributor license agreement. Sign. Nice. Nice. Cool. Well, this will get in, and then we'll have that, and that'll be cool. But we can, in the meantime, go back to working on our schemas for the recipe app. So for everyone that's here that wasn't here yesterday, let's go to Excalibur. We are using LiveStore to build a family recipes app for my family. And the idea is that like every person in my family gets like their little subdomain. So like I'll have dylan.mulroy.recipes. My sister would have morgan.mulroy.recipes. Be able to parse websites with AI and like scrape that. Be able to rank recipes, comments, fork recipes, like basically all these features. So that's what we're going to try to build with LiveStore. Get rid of me. I want to subscribe to this, and we'll do this. And maybe we'll take a shot at this sometime next week, because this would be cool to do. Looks like there might be, we'll catch up on this thread next week. I'll star this and we'll move that. Yeah, we'll just move that there. And let's pull up the LiveStore docs. And just keep that up. Did I have a CS degree? I basically am self-taught. Dr. Lovewizard and I went to the same university, and the CS program fell apart while I was there, to say the least. Dev. Johannes, is the version I want, do I want to be on 0.3.1, or do I want to upgrade to a different version? Okay. Great. We'll have cloud-p upgrade LiveStore and its depths to 0.4.0 dev. I see, but what do you do in case job posts ask for a CS degree, like we just saw at the page? I mean, like, every job I've ever applied to says CS degrees. Well, maybe not, but like, I've definitely applied to jobs that say CS degrees are required, and I've never had it checked once. But like, I do have a CS degree. Brace for breaking changes. The only code I have, Johannes, is really is some schema stuff. I mean, there's probably other stuff in here that needs to change, but we can work backwards from there. I can probably let me grab this. That's probably not what I want to do. Let's go look at the dev docs quick. Quick start, React Web. Yeah, we'll reset this up here. So let me just grab the stuff here, and I will, where should I dump this? Touch/temp/ we can do pv paste /temp/ recipes schema.ts. I think I alias pvp, yeah. And then we should be able to do cat/temp/recipe schema. There we go. And then we can just like nuke this directory. And what was in vendor? We'll need to re-download the 4.0. Yeah, we can just delete all this, honestly. I don't think we installed anything else. We installed ULID. We can reinstall ULID. That's fine. Yeah, screw it. Remove dash. Yeah. Great. We'll grab this, dump that in. Bun install. Okay. Let's go get the dev tools. The dev tools are going to be, where are they in here? Dev tools. We want to go and install Chrome extension from GitHub releases. And we want to get this guy. And let's make our vendor directory. And then we'll copy live, this one, into /vendor. For the dev tools, you only need, I want the Chrome extension. The Chrome extension is so good, dude. We were looking at it yesterday. Vendor, unzip. And then we want to go manage extension, and we can remove the extension there, and we can load unpacked. Personal malware recipe, nope. Load unpacked, vendor, select. Okay, got that. And now we should be able to run the dev server, which would be bun dev. Copy LiveStore app star to /. I need, what is it, -R? And then we can remove -rf LiveStore app. And we can do a bun install here. May I ask what would, I need to catch up in chat. I can't scroll this chat for some reason. May I ask what your best advice to me as a 25 age old who wants to start a CS degree? I already feel behind in life because I will start that late and I'll be around 29 when I finish. Can you give me a reality check? Am I too late? Industry right now is leaning heavily on referrals. That's true. The AI resume slap is just trying. Yep, that's true. Yeah, dude, I don't think it's ever too late to start. Like, some of the best developers I've ever worked with in my entire career were self-taught and came to software engineering from another career. Like I've known a lot of teachers and musicians and psychologists who have come from. Why did this get stuck again? This happened yesterday. Who have come to software engineering later in life and become very successful. You just gotta, I mean, you're gonna have to probably work harder than a lot of your peers at your same age that are already in industry, but work hard, build things that you think are cool, and just deep dive. Fun dev. All right, should be up and running. $6,001. There we go. Let's see if we got the dev tools. We should have LiveStore. Yup. Hell yeah. Look at how nice these dev tools are, chat. I would say don't just do a CS degree for a job. It's not the gravy train it used to be. Yeah. I am. All right, so we need to add recipe schemas. Nice. So good. It's so good. Select star from to-dos. Boom. Look at that, chat. We got SQLite in the browser. We got a reactivity graph. Look at that. Tell me that's not sick. Oh, we can see the queries too? Oh, Johannes, you cooked. You cooked. God, I need to show Reese this. We have a slow queries? God. All right. Let's jump over and keep working on our schemas. It's a lot of work. I'm struggling with modesty for instance. All right. So let's go up here. Can't find any. Sure. Let's go here. Let's vim in. Actually, we want to copy /temp recipe schema to source / LiveStore / in there. So then we can go in here and we can keep working on what we were with our schemas. Let's update this stuff. I need to replace LiveSnip with a different snippet engine. LiveStore, recipe schemas. And for reference, let's open up schema. Oh shit, I did lose. Yeah, util id.ts. Export id equals this as const. And then we want const ulid is this. And we'll do a user. And this will be user id.ulid. And then we need to install that. Kill that. Fun add ulid. And here we want to install ulid Okay, that should fix our type errors here. Yep. And the thing that we added this morning is so we can then go into our users table and we can do default and we'll be able to do id.user. So that's what we'll use that for. That was the whole purpose of what we did this morning. And also starting to read the code base. So we've got some unique indexes on our users table. That'll work. So we have this type, recipe, comments, rating, macros, recipe step. Is there anything else we need on recipe? I don't think there is. One thing I will call out though is that you want to keep the SQL statements you're triggering in the materializer deterministic to keep syncing conversion. Okay, we can use I think ULID takes a monatomic, can take a, talking about there's no signature help. Oh, right, lol. ULID can take, it has, we did this in workflow server, monotonic factory. Create a ULID factory to generate monotonically increasing ULIDs. I basically already generate the ID when you commit the event. All right. Let's get through modeling our schema here. Let's build out recipe step next. Recipe step is going to have a ID, which will be a recipe step ID. It's going to have a title, which will be a string. It will have instructions, which will be a let's call this a description instead. That'll be a string. And this can have ingredients. Ingredient. And this can have prep time. And we should just put timestamps on everything. We'll just soft delete. Does anything else need to be on this step? I don't think so. That seems reasonable. Oh, it's going to need a recipe ID as the foreign key, which will be a recipe ID. We'll create branded types here at the end of this. I also call out that the new dev version has support for effect tables for the schema definitions. You can also just provide an effect schema definition for you. Use that for your table. You click that. Can't set free. Machine. Ah. I do like that. Well, what's cool here is I can probably use the effect dev tools and the LSP to generate effect schema. Let me get that installed. Package JSON. Okay, I don't have the dev tools installed. So let's do effect dev tool effect. What the fuck? Effect LSP. We want to bun add dash these nuts at effect slash language service. And then we'll go into our TS config, and this goes under compiler options. Just come down here, let's say plugins. We'll actually copy the same format. And we'll come here and we'll say plugins. And that's going to have an array that has an object with a name. Need a comma here. Name. Oh, this is JSON, isn't it? Yeah. This will have at effect slash language service. All right, I don't use VSTLS, but let's see if this works. What up, Colin? What up, Kale? All right, what is that? We had an error there. Was it under messages? History? No. LSP info. All right, let's go to, actually, let's close this and reopen it. And I want to go look at that warning. Unable to find, oh, maybe we did okay. Yeah, there we go, it's working. Refactor to schema. Boom. How about that, chat? We'll do schema.string for now. And we'll just comment that out for now. All these ones that, in fact, should have just done. Boom. All right. And we can comment that, and we can come down here and we can do the same thing. Convert this into a schema. And we can delete that. and we can delete that, and we'll comment those lines, comment that line, and then we can just do schemas from here on out. All right. We've got a recipe step. Let's create our branded IDs. Const, let's say we have a recipe ID, and this is going to equal, can I do schema.brand? Recipe ID. We have to look up the docs for that. So I always feel like I don't like the schema version of brand and always want the effects website / docs. Brand.
Functions describe the world.
Okay, so that's how we do that. Okay, that's exactly what we want to do here. So this will be const recipe ID symbol, and this will be a unique symbol, and that'll be equal symbol dot for recipe ID, and we'll take that, and this is going to be a schema dot string dot pipe, that, changing that, and this will be recipe ID symbol. Yeah, there we go. And now we have that. How do we do recipe ID dot? It's not quite what I want. So we'll come in here, and this will be schema. We can do actually, let's do this a little bit smarter. Let's go to our ID module, paste that in here, import schema, sure. And we'll do, we'll come in here and we'll say, we'll just have a ULID, and then we'll have this user thing, and this will have a object, and this will have a make function, and this will do basically what I deleted. And then we'll have a recipe. We'll say recipe ID. Actually, we don't need recipe. And this will be that, and then we'll do This will actually be this, and we'll have schema. This will be recipe ID. We'll rename this recipe ID schema. We won't export that. And we'll have recipe ID schema, and then we'll have make, which will be a function that then takes recipe ID schema dot make, and this will be ID recipe, and this will be season ID dot ulid. Yeah, that's how we want to do this. And then we can basically do dot recipe dot schema, and we can reference that. We'll capitalize that. And then if we ever want to make it in code, we can do id.recipe.make, and that will give us a nice ID. I like it. Yeah, I'm gonna start with I'm gonna move to the events as soon as I get done. As soon as I get done the base data. I love data modeling. Data modeling is like one of my favorite things in the world. I said I was going to model the events as soon as I get done doing the schemas here. That was my plan. I always start at data. So we have, we're going to basically do the same thing here now for like a recipe step. We can copy this, paste that, and we can take this and we can say actually we can do ID, and we can do step ID, and we can yoink this. Oh, we already did that. And we can actually do that. There we go. JSON Sim. Listen, I like DynamoDB just as much. Actually, I have more fun modeling schemas for DynamoDB than I do SQL, but I do enjoy both. Yeah, I wanna feel. All right, we've got recipe step ID. So now we have this. We can do id.recipestep.schema, and we can do recipe ID, id.recipe.schema. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful, chat? We can jump up to our other schema here and do this. This will be id.recipe.schema. Although I do think I need to build.
Functions describe the world.
I might need to pipe a transform on these. We'll come to that problem when we get to it. Because like if I do like if I did like recipe.make, it's not enforcing. I see. I do want to do this now. So we want to have like this const prefixed ulid, and this is going to be Oh, how do I want to do this? Schema dot, is it literal? Template literal. Is that a function? I forget how this works. I forget how this works. It ensures that you're not dealing. I like branding IDs because then like anytime data comes into a boundary of your application, you parse it and you brand it, brand things like IDs or emails or whatever. That way, like when you're passing data around, you can start writing functions that you could be like, this function only takes a recipe ID. And then you can't pass some random string to it. Like you have to have a parsed recipe ID. So you can start enforcing better type safety on the like primitives, like numbers and strings, that they are what you think they are and not some random value get passed through. It basically creates it's kind of like a hack for doing nominal types. I forget how this works. I need to go look at template literal. Yeah. So we want to do like a make prefix ULID schema. And this is going to take a prefix that extends string. Can I const this? No. And this is going to take prefix, which will be a prefix. And then this takes prefix and it'll be prefix as const schema.string. And then what if I did const this equals make prefix ULID schema and we say like recipe. Yeah, check that out. That's exactly what we wanted. So then we want to make a schema for a ULID. Let's go back and look at the branded types and see if I can apply maybe we do it this way. Default constructors. Hold on, let's go to brand. Refined. Validate. I don't like refine because it throws. This is one thing that makes me so mad about that. Let me make sure my doorbell just didn't ring. Alright, I gotta go chill the dogs out here. Hey, knock it off. Right now. No more. Yeah, they're kind of like enums in a way. This is almost what I want. I want to like schema transforms, I think is what I really want. I think it would be something like if I could do a const ulid schema equals schema dot string dot pipe schema dot transform. Or no, there's a better way to do this. There's schemas for custom types is kind of what I want. Right here, schema.declare. Let's pull this over. Where's the... Put that there, move this over here. There we go. We can move this back this way. And move that there. There we go. So I think we want to do something like this. And we can do schema.declare. And we'll do, I think, a thunk. Input is unknown. And then we'll say input is, I think we have to create, we probably have to create a brand. And we'll say this will be ulid. All right, so we have that. And then we'll have type branded. I basically just want to override the constructor of a ulid. Why is that so hard? Using effect schema, how would you create a schema, a branded type schema for the ulid library that results in the schema's make function calling ulid under the covers? This can't be that. I feel like I'm like having a stroke trying to figure this out. I think I'm on the right track here. I think this would be like branded ULID equals type of branded ULID schema dot type, right? Like this should be ULID is branded ULID I don't even know that. Is there a validator in this thing? Is valid. Banger. In fact, this can be probably string. Enforce that. And then it takes a object identifier, and this will just be ULID maybe this has to be unknown. String. We'll say this can be ULID from self. Well, there we go. All right, so then we should have like type ULID is type of ULID from self dot type. All right, now we got ULID. And we have a ULID from self. Although this still doesn't create the constructor. How can I give the schema a constructor? Patching arbitrary structure equivalence examples, message, parse options. Still isn't quite what I want. Because like, can I do anything with ULID from self that doesn't have a make on it? So that doesn't have a make on it either. So what if I came down here and like I had another schema? What happens if I do schema.struct x is an x? Can I do dot make? And that's going to enforce that x is okay. Okay. Is not a that's kind of what we want, right? That is what we want. That's what we wanted. MS. Right where I just got to. There is schema.ulid, by the way. Oh my god. I'm so dumb. So stupid, chat. Well, there we go. So we have this makes prefix ULID schema. We have this, and we can then have this take a symbol as well. We'll have it take a symbol, which will be extends. I don't know if I can do this. Symbol. And we can come in unique symbol types. All right. Extends. And then we can do, I think we can dot pipe this to schema dot brand. And this will be symbol. T symbol is not assignable to type. And then we would come down here, and I think we could do, get rid of this now, and do that. And this would take our recipe ID symbol. Yeah, check that out. That's exactly what we want. And then if we did recipe ID schema dot make, that shouldn't work. And we need res, yep. And foo. Nice chat. Actually, I don't think this is valid. This should fail, actually. Like, if I did this, I'm assuming this, if we run this file, and we did like console.log x, this should fail. Bun run source slash util slash id dot ts. Yeah. Unsupported template literal span. That's perhaps not what I expected. Let's try that. Unsupported template literal span. Sure, Johannes, I'm down. I don't know what this means, dog. Can't access. Okay. So this is one thing that bothers me about Bun, is that it masks errors. I'm not even positive that is the error here. But let's say we do this. Why is it trying to compile all of this? Unsupported template literal span. All right, Claude. We're putting you in.
Functions describe the world.
What is wrong here? Ultra think. Check the schema module source code to fully understand. You mean LiveStore, Bishal? Postgres 18 shipping in November supports OAuth authentication. We have a service called TSIDP, which allows you to use your tailnet as an IDP. I don't know what an IDP is. Identity provider for OAuth. Oh, that's sick. I might need to go make more coffee, chat. I'm about out. Ah. I think I could do this slightly differently. Not terminal coffee. I drink. I use this approach for domain branded sites that compose. I think that is similar to what I want. That's clever. I wouldn't want to... The thing I don't like about this is I wouldn't want to support encoding. But I guess I could just take the... decode from string. It's already branded. Could I do schema dot template literal and do like edge, and then schema.string. As const. As const. Okay, that could work. And I wouldn't want to that's basically what I want there. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. That might be the route I go here. Let me distract you for a second. I'm curious whether you have ideas how the Chrome DevTools installation could be simplified very long term. I want to have a single Chrome extension that supports any LiveStore version, but that is still further away due to a massive amount of work. Client to download it. I think adding a option to install it. I think that's a good idea. That's like basically exactly what I did to install Johannes. I have I made that vendor directory that I put the DevTools into. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Because it makes it easier than having to go like dig through the docs to the DevTools page and then clicking through to the releases GitHub link and downloading the zip there. You could even have it like, you could like download, you could bundle like an HTML page with the plugin and unzip it. And then you could use like the open syscall to open the browser for that HTML page and have like a real nice like diagram of what to do and have a link to click like extensions that takes people right to the Chrome extensions page. Yeah, exactly. So what did we decide here? Schema to template literal. Claude said we wanted to do what here? String. Yeah, I like this kind of second option down here, I think. So let's try that. We'll yoink you. Actually, we'll take this. And we'll replace you, delete this. We don't need this filter. Actually, what did we have before? Paste that, GC that. And then I think we can maybe do a schema.ulid here and compose it together like this. Then what do we end up with here as a type? It should return what was it before? I want to grab this exact type. What does it say our type is here? I want that to be the type of the output. Yoink that. What is this schema template? How does this work? Can I just do, I don't know what a pen type is or where that comes from, but what happens if I do that and then get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of that. Okay, this is annoying. Can I get at that type at all? I don't think I can get at the append type. Why is this so hard? This returns a brand skill filter. Does this work, I wonder? But this doesn't enforce at the type level what I want. I think we're gonna copy this. This approach seems much easier. So let's say we have type branded ULID, and it's going to be pipe, and this will be, I don't know what happened there, pipe. Okay, that's not, I gotta or this would be const. I'm dumb. Shouldn't that be? There we go. And then this will be schema.ulid and schema.brand. We'll make a ULID symbol This would be const. Get rid of that. Symbol dot for ULID. And then this gets our ULID symbol. And so we have that. And then we have this make prefixed. It would be schema.transform. And it will go from branded ULID to schema.template literal. And it would have the prefix. Dude, I listen to Hans Zimmer all the time to get in the zone. Schema.string. Schema. Oh, that's sick. This should be branded ULID. And then we need our strict, oops, wrong place. Strict true encode or decode. As const. I don't think this is actually what I want, but I have no idea what I'm doing. I think I just want to copy what we did over here on the right. So we have let me get rid of this thing. And let's do this quick. And let's just say this is going to be, this would be, you can just make this DT ULID. All right, now that's the same as over there, right? It's the same type. Yep. Just that we have a symbol. And then we would have, let's say we had a recipe ID, right? We would do, it would be schema.type schema, and then it'd be schema.transform. And the transform takes a ULID. To a schema.template literal. That has the prefix, which would be resp. And then schema, I think this would be ULID. Yeah. And then we add the transform, which here this would be strict. This has strict, true. Then the encode is literally just the identity function. So ID, I think. It goes from a ULID. No. This is right. This is right. We want to do what Federico was doing over here. So we would want to do we're going from a ULID, we're converting it back to a ULID. So we're going to do ULID.make and this would be ID.replace resp, and this would be ID. And then the decode would be the opposite. So this is actually going to be ID, and then this would be ULID. And then this can just be an arrow function, and we take recipe. See, wizard. Always talked about. All right, which means then we come out the other side here. We have a schema. It's exactly what we want. I thought. So I can't make one that. Why? Do I just have to do new? How do I make one? Because this is really what I want. edge dot how do I format this? Edge dot t schema dot, can I do a new? So I can't do that. We're so close. Chat, we're so close. Uh, is it possible to go from a schema class to a schema? Like, what does this come out as? Or what's this? Schema class. And this is a dot brand. Let's see if Claude can figure it out here. We've been nerd sniped by types. I wonder if I made this. Oh wait, this is what I was trying to do. Frickin' schema generics, man. It's so, like, we're so close here. Make prefixed. Like, over here. Const. Let's get rid of this. We don't need domain. Let's get Claude to figure out how to expose the make function on the T schema look at the schema module source code to fully understand without type errors, to fully understand how the module and types work. Ultra think. Effect schema in 3.0 is definitely the hardest part and the roughest part of effect, in my opinion. And it's looking so much better in 4.0. I'm so excited for it. Yep. We want to transform schema class back to a schema type that has the make function. I believe that Claude can win. Well, that's cooking. Let's go see what's popping off on X. Okay, here we go. What is happening? If this works, this is going to be wild. Let's go ahead and throw this in here. Where was mine? T. It's just the edge namespace. Oh my god, I think this works. It works. Oh my god. Maybe it works. I don't know what it tried to do here. Options. Just nuke the options. I don't want to pass the options. We don't care about that. We can get rid of you. And we can return this. It copied the make static property from schema from template literal class. T schema extends base schema, type schema ID. It's like not the worst option though. Like validate sync is gonna do what we want. Let's see here. I just got. I'm gonna have to wrap up for today, chat. I gotta go run some errands, but we will be back tomorrow and continue working on this. Let's find somebody to raid. The fuck you mean wrap up? I'm a house husband now. All right, I got stuff to do. I make this house a home. All right, chat. What do we got going on? I don't really want to read any of these. Same category. We got some Rust going, some Ruby on Rails. We're gonna use, well, LiveStore is a backend, but we're gonna host it on Cloudflare. Why is there nothing that I want to watch? We just raid the Rust dev, Minecraft launcher and Rust. That seems kind of cool. Oh, Jesus, I just got wrecked. We'll raid props. All right. I'll be back tomorrow morning. See you guys.